All right, so hopefully this works. Hopefully this works. This is a test out of the YouTube Live. I decided it'd be kind of fun to do a test of YouTube Live, and what better test to do than some of the taste tests I do. But this is really just seeing how it works. But I figured I'm gonna do a taste test, a live taste test. Admittedly, as far as I know, nobody's able to access this other than me right now. Um, but what better way to do a taste test live through YouTube Live than to do a mukbang? And so I went to 3 different grocery stores. I had to go to 3 different grocery stores in an area just to find 4 food items, uh, 4 food items that are labeled as Korean based, and then one that I guess is kind of, I don't know enough, but in my little rural area, we don't got a lot of Korean stuff. We do have a couple Korean slash Japanese restaurants in the area. Have to about 45-minute drive from here, and they're about 20 to $30 a plate for food items. I figured that was a little outside my price range, so I'm gonna give this a try and see what these are like. Took me a little while to get this up and running, so these might actually start to be cold now. But I guess we can start with the first one I heated up, which was. Watch me dump it all over my keyboard. That would be totally just like me. This is uh, TF Chan's Korean inspired pork. So I imagine anybody who's Korean won't have any of this anywhere. This is an inspired. I imagine it's somewhat like American Chinese food. It's not actually Chinese food, it's just called that. So let's see what this is like. This is called Korean inspired pork. So this actually says spice level 4 out of 5. It's got a little heat to it, but I wouldn't say it's super spicy yet. As I finish the bowl, maybe, but I do like it though. There's a little spice to it, but there's also okay. So like a cornstarch used as a thickener, you can kind of taste that. Then it has that sort of like a maybe a sesame oil in there. There's a sweetness to it, which makes me think there's a like an orange or a cherry in there. Maybe some pineapple. I don't know. It says it's a gochujang sauce. Don't know what that means, but it's pretty good. I'll come back to that. So then we have, I'm not sure I can even pronounce this, japchae, which is made with organic peppers, shiitake mushrooms, and spinach. That's carrots, bell peppers, shiitake mushrooms, green onions, spinach. Did it say something like, yeah, yam noodles? Okay, yeah. One of Korea's most prominent culinary exports, japchae pleases on many culinary levels. The delicate yet accessible flavor of sesame and soy merged with vibrant yet comforting yam noodles brings this savory dish to life. Well, you're selling it, but does it sell itself is the question. Now, yam noodles I'd be curious about. Hmm, honestly, that's actually really good. That works really nicely. I like the shiitake cut into strips like that. Mm, that's nice, and there's like it's very lo mein like, but the noodles have they're very similar to like a glass noodle. You know, I could see doing this as like a regular stir fry on a regular basis. Have to break it down a little bit and figure out what the ingredients are. But and then you have the spicy Korean style noodles with chicken. So that's Taipei, new variety. I don't know what the old varieties are because I usually can't eat this kind of stuff. But I was kind of curious. Mm, oh, that's quickly disappointing. Well, that's not bad, but it's very like a bready noodle. It's very much a there's nothing spicy about this. Yeah, this is very much like a spaghettio type noodle almost, and squishy pastiness of them. They're not spicy at all. I mean, they might have a little bit of spice. I mean, the first dish I had, the Korean inspired pork, had enough spice that I could be just missing a lighter spice on this. And of course, kimchi. What would this be without kimchi? I mean, that has to be included. It took me, I went to several stores looking for as much as I could that said anything about Korea on it. I grabbed a few things that weren't, but I didn't prepare most of them. I did get some chicken pot stickers, but that's just because I need to have pot sticker in this. If I'm going to do this to myself, I'm going to get some pot stickers in there too. But kimchi, I have never had kimchi before. Hmm, that's interesting. Very similar to I do a lot of vegetable stir fries. If you were to take a little bit of onion, some cucumber, and celery, I guess cabbage too, because that's pretty obviously what's in here. And you fried it up in a little bit of like a vinegar and a chili sauce. Very similar, but this is supposed to be naturally fermented, so it's pretty good. I could include that in a couple different foods. I don't know that I'd eat it like a coleslaw on the side like that. And the heater's just kicked on, just in case you hear that hum. Now, I think I have this marked to private. I'm mainly just trying this out, and I wanted to archive this. I'm not really ready for full-time public access, but I'm getting familiar with it. And I actually looked at doing this on Twitch first, and there's some hoops to jump through on Twitch first, so I'm not going to spend a lot of time worrying about it. Ooh, there's heat from something. Is that the kimchi or the... I didn't think this had any heat to it. You can kind of see it's not a very appealing looking. It's that very pasty. I mean, it is what it is, I guess. It's that instant noodle dish. Yeah, I haven't had much to eat today for a very long time. And something when I got up at had something when I got up at 10 a.m. It's now 2 a.m. And I'm probably going to feel a lot of this later. But I really wanted to do this for New Year's. I figure try something new. Get familiar with how the live feed on YouTube works, because I have plans for it for the next at least several months. Uh, I'm going to try to archive this and post it as a one of a series of these types of videos where I try different foods. And part of doing um, finding a way to do something with the taste test videos that I do and share them with people online. Um, I'm doing a. I'm hoping to do a series of other live videos with regular posting. Did I show you the Jap Chai or whatever it's called? Yeah, you're dripping on my keyboard. Thanks. That's awesome. That is tasty, though. I will say that. This is good stuff. I mean, some of it's just likely to be the sugar and starches of the sauce. I imagine the real stuff prepared by people in Korea is not like the stuff I got out of the frozen food section at Walmart, Target, or this one was Target, I think. Yeah, there was Market Basket, Walmart, and Target. I had to hit 3 different stores. It took me like 3 hours to find just this much. What I'd really like is once I've archived this and the week comes around where I do the live um, food based creative stuff, because I do um, books, movies, games, both tabletop and video games, art, music, taste tests. But once I get these archived, I'll probably come back and revisit these during the week that I do the live food discussion. But what I'd like to do potentially with something like this is learn actual recipes and try to prepare some myself and then eat them live. So like a demo of cooking and then trying the foods that we make. And since Korean food is a hard find in this area, I think it'd be kind of cool to find some recipes, make them myself, and try them. And now that I see japchae, um, and then the Korean-inspired pork has a type of spicy gochujang sauce. I'll look up both of those and see if I can find out a little bit more of that, along with some potential other recipes. The kimchi is actually pretty good. I'm gonna just start throwing that into other food. This might be a little more fun once I get it to a point where I can actually invite people to join me and chat. Share recipes, ideas, and inspirations. Or just make fun of my reactions to trying new things. Now this is going to be a little unique because the other ones, like I can do book-based stuff and movie-based stuff all in one go, but my digestive system cannot handle doing this 7 days in a row for a week. I mean, I can do book discussions and writing and that kind of stuff 7 days a week, fine. But I have a digestive ailment, and this would kill me. This would just absolutely kill me. I'm probably going to have a rough day for a couple days after this. But not enough to prevent me from trying something new on New Year's. All right, so that's 2 out of 5-ish items. Now the other one, It's not technically Korean food, it's just pot stickers. And the lighting is terrible. I had to cook these up myself, so they're still frozen food. I'm not going to pretend I made them from scratch. Oh, and it said to try cooking them with vegetable oil. I'm like, I don't know that I have any vegetable oil here. So I used butter. Grass-fed Kerrygold butter. So I gave some Asian-style dumplings, hot stickers, a little Irish love. Is it bad that that seems to suggest the potential of cooking them in Guinness? I wonder if that would be any good. Cooking pot stickers in Guinness. I'd be curious to try that. Maybe I will try it at some point. I don't think I've ever had Guinness either, so. Alrighty, so this is the, I have to admit, I really like the Korean-inspired pork. So whatever that sauce is, I need to figure that one out and find out if it's something I can make. It's kind of sweet, but it's got a spiciness to it that's worth it. Not the choicest cuts of pork I see, but good that we're using it all. Oh yeah, it's got a little venom in it. There it does. Whew. Now I'd be kind of curious to try a couple of like Korean desserts. I have the foggiest idea what they are. And looking up at the local restaurants that had Japanese and Korean food, I got the distinct feeling that like they're counting on the fact that some of us just won't know what real Korean food is, so they'll just pass it off as Korean. And I wasn't looking to pay $20 a food item for that and get 5 different food items. I'm not spending $100 on a meal. Especially one where I won't actually get the flavors of something Korean. They'll pass it off as Korean. I don't want to do that. I would like to learn to cook some myself. Admittedly, some of that desire is to also learn enough about it so that I can make some bastardized version of something else. I like to mix and match things and try them in new ways. Like I would almost guarantee you that that Korean-inspired pork sauce on that would work really good for shrimp. And I would want to maybe swap out the noodles they're using. I mean, the noodles they use for that bowl, the PF Chang's um, uh, noodles were the best noodles. The yam, I should revise that. The yam noodles are actually pretty good. The PF Chang's is, I would say, tied. If I had to pick one over the other, I would actually go with the yam noodles on the japchae. But anyway, I would swap out the noodles for like a zucchini or a squash noodle. So just like a shredded zucchini or a squash. Or a few other vegetables. But actually, it might be pretty good on the cooked cucumber that I like to do. I like a good cooked cucumber in my stir fry. I also should probably mention that not only is this going to upset my digestive system, I'm sure, for the next day or so, seems like I've got a mild oral allergy syndrome to carrots, so my ears are going to hurt, and I'm going to have a sense of postnasal drip for about a day or so. It'll be fun. All in good fun. Oh, and poultry causes me joint pain, so goodness knows why that's the case, but it is what it is. Dude, you just ran for like a half an hour. You gonna run again? No, I did get, and I'm not going to eat them tonight. I think this is plenty of food for me. But I did get a beef and broccoli because, I mean, that seems to me like everybody's got a beef and broccoli dish. So it's pretty generic. Everybody has one. They're pretty much very similar. Everybody has it. But I decided if it didn't say Korean on the box, I'm not doing it tonight. Half of the fun of this is probably for people who actually know what Korean food is like to see this stuff and go, that's not the real stuff. And you're certainly welcome to give me those recipes. I could probably hunt down some now. Just turns out there's not a lot of information out there about making your own Korean style foods that I've found. Other than, kimchi is Korean, information is a little sparse. Mainly because I don't know the right place to look. But it's a new year, I'm trying some new things. Whew, this has it's the right kind of bite to it, though. It's not an overpowering burn, but it's got a sizzle that sticks with you. That's really good. And it's pork, so it's not, the poultry is not going to be an issue for me on that one. It wasn't a bad price, I will say that. I think it was like what was that one? I think that was like $3. So that was really kind of good. Now the Korean jet chai or whatever they want to call it, that was like $5, $6. That's something I would rather learn how to make myself, so I don't have to go to Target and pay a boatload of money to do that on a regular basis. I suppose I probably should have checked the audio on this first, huh? Well, it is what it is. Uh, 5 bowls of small amounts of food. Yeah, I have to admit, I'm disappointed by that. That was a little disappointing. It's not even like a good lo mein. And the other thing I'm puzzled by is Korea is a peninsula. It's surrounded by water. Why was it so hard to find any Korean food with shrimp or some other seafood in it? It's almost like it doesn't exist, or like we don't know of its existence in our little stupid little neck of redneck nowhere. All right, well, I'm hitting the end here. So this is likely to be archived. And I will dredge it back up in about 5 or 6 weeks, probably, as part of a series. I'll do a few more of these. I might actually kick those open for public access, just so people can interact a bit more. Right now, I'm just getting familiar with this system, and I'm sure I'm doing this terribly, which is all the more reason for me to do it publicly terribly, so that you guys can tell me how to do this better and what you actually want from something like this. Because this is a learning experience for me as well. It's not me showing off. It's not me, telling you how to do a certain thing. This is me trying stuff out, and I'll learn from it, and hopefully you learn from me learning from it. But this will be the taste test series, so it'll be a week of content. I'm trying to decide if I'm going to do that as a rewatching and reviewing what I did and what I learned in the process over a week. Because, like, the rest of what I'm hoping to do is, I guess, technically today, later today, I will be uploading another live stream about writing, where I challenge myself to write a certain amount in a certain time frame. So I actually want to try to take a book from the ground of an idea all the way through to publishing it on Kindle. Now, Can I do that in a week or two? That's sort of what I'm trying for. But it's also showing the process of how to take it from that idea all the way out to that, so that you will hopefully also try something like that. Maybe not in the same time frame, but as a kind of like, we can all give this a try. Um, so I'd like to do that for writing and board game design and those types of things. But eventually, as my cycle usually runs, a book, a movie, a board game, a product or service, and then a taste test. That'd be about 5 weeks out. That gives me time to do this 4 more times, and then like for the fifth week, do a live one. And so I should be able to get 6 videos, roughly a week's worth of this. And hopefully during the live ones, I can both demo how to cook some foods and then try them, but also open up the conversation and discussion about recipes and food item and share the experience a little bit more. But I think this is probably longer than I usually ever run a video. So we're at 36, almost 37 minutes. For me, that seems like a good time frame to cut it because I don't usually like to go this long. But again, I don't know. I haven't done this before. Specifically, I have not done a um, mukbang before. I don't even think I might have seen one or two. And there are different ways people do it. They do the ASMR mukbangs where it's just the sound of somebody eating, which I don't know that I'm up for that. But um, then there's the social eating where it's conversation, which I think probably is a little bit easier if you guys are able to actually participate. But yeah, I don't know. It'd be interesting to see how this evolves over time. I may post this up before 5 weeks from now and let people feel like you post the archived version of it and let people give me feedback and adjust from there. Yeah, anyway, we're running long, at least from my perspective. So I appreciate anybody who takes a look at this and offers any feedback. Um, this is my way of starting a new year with a new idea. All right, take care. Yes, I want to end the stream.